Forge, and today we will forge. Okay, so I have I have to set up my chat like usual, as I always need to do. We're good to go there. We're good to go here. Let me see. I think I had updated my browser, so now everything needs to be... Everything reopened itself, but I've got to figure out where everything is again. Alright, so... Whoop. Okay, so what were we doing? We have a kick-ass room over here. I'm liking the look. We've still got to figure everything else out over here. There's still some like little details here and there. Like I'd slap that in there just so I could have something to mount this to, because I want it to be low enough to make sense. If it's too high, it doesn't make any sense to be there. But I never heard from Ripshade if he was cool, if he was you know, enjoying this location. But I don't know if he's ever played it. You can stand on it currently, and that's kind of important because you could grapple shot up there, for example, and get yourself a little height advantage. And if something comparable doesn't exist on the other side of the map, it might be a little bit imbalanced. So Ripshade, by the way, for anyone new, is the original creator of the blockout of this map. And so you'll hear me refer to him quite often. But basically, he's the guy who made it originally, and I took up the mantle of responsibility of creating the art for his map. Okay, so there's still a tiny little area, a tiny little lip there. I could turn this one more 5-degree tick and move it over a bit, and actually that'll make it fit nicely into the alcove. That's pretty good anyway. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I like that. I don't think this one's destructible. I could be wrong. Let me build the room, and then I'll go in there and find out. Is the other side of the map a similar room on the other side where it is damaged and you know, not in a good state? Okay. Yeah, there's no way to get up there from there. Okay, yeah, this is not a destructible object. I wish it was. That would be really cool. We've got all these other destructible objects in here that bust and take damage, so you can break up all this brand new shiny Oni stuff and wreck it. But some of this stuff, it's just, I guess, too durable. Like, for example, this would have to be durable glass, probably translucent or transparent aluminum instead of glass, which is a real tech that's being invented. I still don't understand what's going on here. It's a lighting thing. I gotta figure out where that light is. It's really baffling to me. Let's see, is it over here? I'm not seeing it. No, I don't see it on this side. Whoa! Went right through a hole in the floor. Still gotta fill that in and finish those pipes. But yeah, let's see. Okay. I missed like 2 days, 2 days? Yeah, I think 2 days in a row now. So, fortunately I had an older video from the previous day that I was able to upload yesterday. But, it wasn't a new one. It was just, you know, it was new for YouTube, I think. So I was able to transfer it over there. Let's see. I think that what I'm going to do here... Okay, wait. My swatch is probably going to be switched to carapace, like the rest of the room. Turn that off. We got the little hexes, and let's go to the damage. We got 0 on roughness, so it becomes, you know, pretty good. Everything's brand new. Let's do that. I do feel like I need some kind of support structure there. I might actually do this one. I know I was using those for the walls, but those are actually, those we ended up framing that piece with, so I might do another one of these, and that should be pretty cool. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There we go. So basically, I've been using this kind of thing where I hide it in the wall to create a cool, like, cross connection. It's not as geometric as the walls in... Hey, look at that. I apparently got points. It's not as geometric as the walls in the original image, which is this one, where they've got like these large geometric panels. So it might be, you know, it might benefit me to find something else, like, for example, I could, I'll put this in place and then I'll see if I can find something even better. Because this looks fine, I think. It's just that it's not quite, like, perfect. You know what I mean? Let's bring this just a tad. Oh, let's turn that off and go to the nudge. The newly fixed nudge tool. Okay, did I? Yeah, I accidentally turned it back on. Oops. I said turn it off. So this will be with the lines, and then this would be just the X. And I'm not sure which one is better. Probably just the X, because it's not as prominent. Having those horizontal lines might be a little bit unusual. But here's the main thing, is that, okay, so that's cool, but what if to get our cool geometric shape, right? We go to Accents, we go to Forerunner, and we go, let's see, I'm going to have to get higher up so that I can spawn these things. Let's see, Forerunner, here we go, we've got these angles. I was thinking there's a column somewhere. Wait, is it? No, not called column, I think it's called pillar or something like that. It's below the hex pillars. Pillar A, okay, pillar B, here's one. That's one. I was thinking this one. If we scale it down, right, and we bring it down without that slow speed movement, right, and we flatten it to make all of the texture disappear, essentially, and we put it into the wall, then we can create a sort of, you know, a line that generates geometric patterns around it. The black line part of it, you know, not the white part. We just have a solid white wall, and then we generate these black areas that we can use like this. Let's see if I can get it to be a good angle. Let's see. And then, as you can see, if we do something like this, obviously it's not textured correctly yet. It might protrude too much, though. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if it's actually going to work. Oh, I did not mean to go down on the x-axis there. I meant to just do the y. Okay, let's see. Just the y. Yeah, this one might be too thick. I'm not sure. I was hoping to find something that would flatten all the way, but this Forerunner stuff has too many. I think that the limiter on scaling is based on the distance between vertices, like the point between the polygons, like right there. There's a point. And there's a point over here. I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe that they do some kind of number crunch between the vertices, or they just eyeball it and make a hard limit that they just apply to each and every object before they release. But they might have actually built like a system that generates a minimum safe distance, probably, you know what I mean, between these vertices, so that they don't start overlapping and cause polygons to, you know, fold over one another and interact with one another. So I believe that that's what I think that's what they did, but they may have just scaled it down and went, that's as close as we can get it before any folding starts, so type that in, that is your hard limit. I'm not sure which one it is, but I would be willing to bet, I would be willing to accept, if they said so, that they actually do in fact have an automated system that that just determines what the minimum safe distance is. But okay, here we go. Here is probably as far into the wall as I can go. It would actually have a bit of texture poking out instead of being an area where the panel is missing. So instead of being recessed, like in the original image, the original concept art that we were going off of from like Star Trek or whatever, we were going off of it, and it was let's see, will that be? No, that's not. That means I'm gonna have to move it again anyway. It would basically, you know, that might work. I'm trying to see if I combine two different directions, if it works at all. Let's see, let's go here. We're gonna go there, and we're going to scale it. Okay, I gotta go up. Okay. That would generate our geometric shape wall panels. It doesn't look any good with these lines for sure. Let's delete those and see. Still not working. I think that we might go with the simpler hash for now. This would be a way of generating it, but it's just not working out as well. Let's see if we go from black line to black line, see if that works a little bit better. Looks like a wrapped birthday present that's just wrapped in really boring wrapping paper, where it's all just, you know, shades of gray, black and white. Okay, so yeah, I don't know about that one. Man, I need to start tweeting out whenever I'm live. Let's see, what's my... tweet. There we go. That's a little better. I never really advertise myself. I really need to. Okay, so if I... You know what might help, though? Let's try and visualize this without the scratch and grind, because... Whoop. Press the wrong one. Okay. Oh. Legs are falling asleep, so I'm sitting cross-legged. And normally I sit that way, but for some reason, just can't right now. Uh-oh, I use my invisibility. There we go. Okay, so this is it without the that bump map, that texture. Okay, it definitely does look better without the scratches and you know, grime on there, grime layers. Okay, that's a bit better. I do feel like it needs this outer frame that's coming with this piece. I don't know if I can get the frame without the cross lines, so let's see if I can go a little bit in. Just enough to get the frame. Hey, look, I can get the bottom frame for sure. And the one on the right. Okay, well, let's just look at that for a bit with this bottom line. I think the fact that they protrude instead of being, you know, recessed is the main problem. And we would have to build up. Like if it's very easy to tell that it's not, like over here it looks fine, at this distance it looks fine, and then you get in here and it starts to feel to me like a wrapped birthday present. And I think that's because I can very faintly make out that that is a three-dimensional black area poking out. All the way back here, it looks like the panels are, it looks just fine. Like this could be panels on top of a black background, you know what I mean? But, you know, the closer we get, the more the 3D effect, it's subtle. You can't actually tell until like really close, but subconsciously I'm picking up that that is not, that's protruding, and maybe it's because I already can tell. Hey! Oh man, you're going to bed? What do you think about this concept, Aaron? Right before you go to bed, tell me what you think. I try to do this to get some kind of, like, you know, paneling on the white, like in the original concept art over here, where they've got like the, you know, the geometric panels and stuff like that. Just trying to see if I could do that and if it would work. And of course, what I was saying was that I think that it looks fine from this distance. It looks great actually from that distance, but you get closer and it starts to get kind of messy and it starts to protrude a bit. Too tired to know what's going on. Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. Okay, well, basically, yeah, that's what I was trying. I could do a much smaller, thinner line, and that might work. Let's see. Oh gosh, oh, I've got it on that. Let's see. If I did a smaller, thinner line, the geometric shapes would be less pronounced, and the distance between panels would be decreased. Do you know what I mean? So let's see. Let's see what that does. So if I go here, I am realizing that part of what was erasing parts of the black line was actually this piece. You see that? It's got these white sort of borders. So I might just have to remove this if I want to really experiment with it. Really get a good test, you know? Let's see. Let's inch it that way. And I might have to scale it. Let's see, which way does it scale? Oh, it scales that way. Okay, well, we'll bring it back then. Okay. Okay, well, speak to you around 3 a.m. my time when I eventually wake up. Yeah. That's pretty rough. But yes, yeah, definitely talk to you later. Let's see. Is that better or worse? I feel like it's less of an interesting geometric pattern. Here's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to completely delete my other option, so I keep on deleting it and then recreating it. Let's bring this over so we have that slope more exposed, because that will allow us to create a geometric pattern that makes sense. It may, part of the problem may be that this is the only place I'm doing this. If I were literally doing this on any other wall, it might not look like it stands out so much. But it's probably too late to add this to other walls unless I was going to add it to like these panels in some way. But I wouldn't be able to do it to the curved panels, so like maybe this is just a moot point to attempt at this point. Maybe I should just go with the less expensive options that I have. But yeah, I think that looks fine. It would look really cool, and that kind of thing, especially from back here. It probably is fine enough up close. Yeah, it's good enough up close. In fact, it kind of looks like computer terminal panel stuff. You know what I mean, like access panels and stuff. But like I said, I think that would have to be used on another map to get that could be even closer to the original source image. Mainly because on this map because we're hoping to eventually expand to Big Team Battle, I have to go with slightly less expensive options. And also, more importantly, because we are on a time limit, and I already designed it around the idea of these simpler shapes. So I think that either I redesigned the room to fit this, like the floor has this kind of cool, more complex shape, but the walls are more simple lines. And so I feel like we might need to just, you know, either accept what we've got, so to speak, or more importantly, just, or more importantly, think of it as, you know, not just accepting what we have, but just making what we have the better option. Because you can make anything look like a better option, to be honest. You could make leopard print walls and then figure out a way to make that look good. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's impossible to figure out how to make things look good. Okay, x-axis needs to be brought down on this because I didn't realize I was clipping so far into the wall that it looks terrible inside that ductwork. Okay, not only that, but it needs to be adjusted to the side. So we need location on the Y. No, on the X. Nope, it's on the Y. I had it right the first time. Let's see. Oh, I keep doing it. Okay, that looks more centered. Okay, this should come out a little bit closer to correct. This thing is shining extremely blue, and I'm not sure exactly why it's so blue. Oh, I went with the thickness. Whoops. I need to go with location. Let's see. There we have it. There we go. And what's going on over here with this weird shape? Okay, it's just because of the thickness of these, which appear to actually need to be moved slightly farther into the wall. I wonder if that's like that because there was an area that was getting, like, hard to see. Let's see. Okay, that might be as close to the wall as it'll let me get without it disappearing into the wall. But that's a little bit closer, and that's gone. Okay, so we can at least get a little closer, and it doesn't cut it off in a weird way anymore. That's good. Okay, I might need to make this one not shiny. Like, I set this to shiny here, but I might actually need to make it more matte so it doesn't reflect as much. No, that's not going to work. Definitely still looks better shiny. Okay, I need to find out what's going on with this light that's causing it to, you know, hit the ceiling so bright that it's no longer white. We're definitely losing a lot of our white to all of this blue. And I love the blue. It's making it feel like a blue base, but I feel like it might be about the diameter of the cones on these lights. Might need to be brought down lower. That is the hard edge. So that would make it look like that. Is it actually, or is it the reflections? Yeah, okay, never mind. It might be that because this is shiny and that's shiny and this is lit up blue, it's reflecting up onto the ceiling and lighting that up. You know what else? We haven't colored this staircase at all. And it has its own colors that we could use to match this room a little bit closer, which might be cool. I kind of do like it standing out a little bit, but I want to give this a try first. Let's see. Is this that? Yeah. I want to set this to... Oh, not on. Wait, I think I gotta go out and come back in so it'll actually change. Off. Let's see if that looks any good. Actually, yeah, that looks pretty good. That was definitely making it feel a little less uniform. Actually, yeah, that immediately is making the entire room feel different. And I think in a much better way. It's even adding some more of the black geometric shape to it. That's really cool. I think dirt is also applied disproportionately to the inside of those gaps than to the actual staircase, which was disappointing to me. I was hoping that it would have like footprint shaped, you know, dirt, like grime layer things that appear on the steps. But yeah, let's see what happens. Here we go. Grime. Let's go to 6. Oh, well, 0.6 is usually, but I'll just go to 1 and see where the grime is. And see what it appears to look like. I could be wrong about where it appears, but I think it is mostly in here. Oh, it looks like streaks. Oh, that's not what we want. I was hoping to get something like this to marble the black inside there like that, like it was down here. But it doesn't appear. Oh, I don't have anything set to it. That'll definitely do it. I would think it would be default set to grime like it normally is. Let's see. Grime. I think I've just have the floor literally set to grime. Right? No, it's called dirt flat. Okay, we'll switch to dirt flat then. Let's see. Dirt flat. No change. I am not sure where they appear. I could have sworn they did actually get something though. Where is it that they're appearing? If anywhere. I can't make out any change, to be honest. No clue. Okay, well, I guess since it didn't add anything, I'll just leave it, but yeah. There we go. We've got that now. So that looks much better just by changing that color to match. I think this will work for now up there. If not, I can try and look for something else for it. But yeah, I'm liking that. Looks fine. I do wish this screen was darker. Unfortunately, I don't know that you can change that. Yeah, that's just a setting. It is definitely very dirty. Let's go to 0.1 and 0.1 on scratches. This shiny new fancy room is looking just fine. And then you'll go right through here, and then through here, into the old room. Where the floods still reside. Okay, cool. So we need to get a panel up there. I don't like that that's plain. I could actually reuse this again, which might help unify the room's look a bit by simply, we'll reset rotation because this one is definitely on a 45-degree axis, unlike the last one. So we hide this into the wall. We have to flip it over to put the wheels inside the roof, the ceiling. And then we can scale down from the bottom. So we want that black perimeter at the top. And then we scale up. And then we go left to right. And we can create a very cool little area here. At this point, I am considering the horizontal lines because they would be pour lines of where you put the concrete. But we're not doing concrete walls because it's this white carapace. So we're actually it probably won't look good once we actually get the correct wall in there. Let's do that though. Select that one and that one at the same time and set it up. I think this should be pretty good. Okay, it's not changing color at all, which means it's this one. And then that means we gotta go up here. Carapace. Oop, nope, turn that to off and 0, so it's nice and reflective. Turn off the color spread thing. Okay, so that means the curves are going to end in that black line. The reason I was trying this out first is that I wanted to see what that looked like. I know that every other place I kept it as one black line and cut off the other one. So if I do this, I will put a slope, an angle here, and an angle over here. That'll sort of clip the corner a little bit more round, and that might actually look really cool. In fact, I might even try a rounded wall and put that there really tall. Let's see, is it this one that I want? Probably not. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna find those walls and start trying different walls. Let's see. I think now I'm trying to remember where those are. UNSC, or are they down in the building? In the structures section is what I'm trying to remember. Let's see, I think they're in structures, but I want to say in UNSC they have the that other kind of wall that we used up here, this panel wall, which is more of an older school kind of UNSC style. Let's go to, so I think that's in structures, walls. If I'm wrong, I'll have to go back and looking through it again. Oh, it's the other way around. These are in here, which means the other ones... Oh, they're both in here. Oh, good. Well, that's easy. So I've got a sharp corner version, right? And I could use that because it scales this way. So you can scale it very, very flat, which effectively almost turns it into a curve with a sort of straight wall in the middle. And that's very helpful. It's annoying that it scales that direction, I think, normally. Let me see. What does this do? No, I guess it's not. I guess this is the best way to make it scale. Yeah, because you can make any angle out of this. Now you can do like 45-degree angles, you can do more. Oh, I see where... Yeah, the real problem is like it's thicker and thicker and thicker as you do this. And then thinner as you come this way. So, it is a little bit annoying in some ways, but it's kind of like just hard to avoid. But what it does is it's thickening these outer perimeters. So fortunately, they're on a slope. So I could clip it into the wall that's already there and hide those. So what I'm going to do is tilt this. Let's see, is that 15 degrees good enough? Or do I need to go... Okay, I need to go by 5 degrees now. And sort of center it. And this will create a sort of effect like this. I can then line it up with maybe the dark lines of that one, and then go up from there and sort of clip it and bury that inner line there, and it'll create this sort of like cornered effect. Now it's now ruining our border of this piece, so I might end up wanting to scale those down a little bit horizontally and moving them over, but they're already scaled down, so they're already a little bit off from this one. But they're just enough that it doesn't matter. So it actually works nicely now, but if I do that, if I do anything to it, it will start to mess it up. What am I selecting here? Is it not the piece I'm trying to get? Yeah, there it goes. Now definitely selected that time. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale this down horizontally and move it into the wall a bit and see if that's the way to go, or if it's no good. Okay, that puts a thicker line, more like this one. It clips a little bit closer than normal, than the rest of the lines are, but it does look pretty good. Obviously it's green, and so we gotta fix that. And also, obviously, it's still at the wrong angle. Okay. Alright, well, we just ended up going 5 by going by once, so I ended up finding a good angle, so I should have just tilted by 5. Maybe even another 5. Just to get this correct angle. Okay. It's still not close enough to this wall. Okay, that's fine. That's much better. Now it's in the wall and correct. Right? It is even filling in the gap here very nicely, which is pretty good. I'm going to end up putting in something to actually fill in that gap anyway, so that there's no tiny holes, but it doesn't have to be as precise anymore to fill in the gap whenever I do that, so that's good. Okay, so then there's that. Okay, let's see what this looks like when we put color to it. Okay, so I need to go with the white, just to see. Actually, the white and black is already done. Let's see if that's good looking. Let's see. Looks good from a distance. Looks good up close. We need to break this out of its prefab and start messing with its pieces to properly get it to match the room. I think originally I was saying that I wasn't going to make this area the same color, that I was going to make it have its own little, like a nook, you know? But I think I'm going to have it stretch over there, and then I'm going to have this area, and I'm just going to have the old door sort of there, you know what I mean? The old doorways there. That will feel a little bit out of place, and that'll be good because it'll give you the threshold between the new and the old. It'll give you a good solid threshold, which I think is really cool. Okay, that's a floor half. These are angled, so that'll go. These all will change at the same time. And I'm not setting any carapace textures yet. In fact, it might even be interesting to leave these as concrete textures, and then but make them white, like they've been painted. And then maybe even make them like scratched white, like, you know what I mean, like they just repainted them but they haven't actually changed it to the new high-tech metal because they had to rebuild the doorway for that or something to that effect. Like put this kind of like environmental storytelling built into it. Where is that gray piece? Is this it? I think that's it. No, that's that triangle piece. There's supposed to be a piece here, but I might have actually not duplicated it, and that might be why there's a hole there in the first place. That would definitely explain that. Yeah, I think that might be what's going on, because... Wait, is this a piece? Oh, that's the regular column that's there already, which I think goes through, so I have to leave it. It's this piece, I think. I want to say that's the piece that we were just looking at. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this... Yeah, that piece didn't get selected whenever I copied this entire thing. So I need it to be lined up that way, and then I need to switch to mouse and keyboard, hit 5, make sure there's no magnets, which there wasn't, it was already set to no magnets, and then I can travel over here and scale it up. Here we go. Nope, poking through. Gotta go back. Gotta back it up a bit. Okay, it's still poking through just a little too much. Let's try and grab that object. Nope, it's getting that barrier. There. In fact, it's just... No, this is a floor piece. It's gonna end up needing to be scaled reverse because of the way they work. We're gonna go that way. And then I'll have to adjust the... Yeah, that's fine there. I'll have to adjust this to make it go down just a tad. Oop, nope. Okay, that means it needs to also come over this way just a tad. Oof. Getting these to go the right angle is pretty tough. It's, this probably won't work, but yeah, that's gonna go there. I had all of these like just right on the other door. Exactly like this, but just right to where they worked. And I think I've just got to figure out exactly what that spot, that sweet spot was. There we go. Yeah, I was just scaling too fast. Went right over it. Alright, there we go. So let's see what that looks like from farther away and decide if we want to get that keep those horizontal lines. I do not want to keep those horizontal lines. It looks funny. We're going to turn this on. Turn that off. Oh wait, no, it was off. There we go. Let's go to the left a bit. So that the, you know, we have a thick line on the right, we might as well line this up on the left. Although I will say we're going to have to add our corner piece over there as well. Sort of get that effect I was saying before. Let's go with a 45-degree angle. And go all the way over here. Actually, you know what? Let's grab this height. Because it's a decent area. And we might need to adjust them vertically, but for now, I just want to match them. There we go, and then we just drag it into the wall. And I think this one is going to want to be a much, like, tighter... First off, we're going to bring this down to make it less an angle there, but then we're going to bring it in here and it's going to become a tighter angle because of that. And then we're going to get our good... There we go. Good angle there. That might be the way to go. We might do it more rotated this way, actually. I think that would be a good one. Halo Wars. Right. Let's see. How's it going? Welcome to chat. Let's see. Gotta change that to black, even though it already was. I'm gonna change this trim to black, which is the top trim. Okay. To match our very shiny Star Trek style room. Okay. Yeah, that's looking very interesting. We have our lines. They're very, almost, not exactly random, but definitely, you know, definitely, unusual. Unusual shapes. Okay, we're gonna bring this in here. Hopefully we can get some lines here. Maybe that's better or worse. Okay, let's see. I need to center it still. Now that I've done that, I need to center it to have it right. That looks good. Okay, if I bring this in farther, this lower line is going to stop reaching all the way over there, but I could bring it in until that vertical column lines up with that curve. So I'm going to try that. I think that might work for the best. It might work out pretty nicely that way, even though I'll lose the line going all the way to the edge. It still might be a good move, a solid, you know. Let's bring this. There is a point where I can get just the vertical columns and leave the wall blank, or even put just one of the cross lines. That's pretty interesting. I might consider that. Okay. I do like that a lot. Let's see what that looks like from farther away, because that'll give me fresh eyes. Yeah, I like that even though those lines don't reach all the way to the wall. Ooh, did my music just cut off after that theme? It did. Right before I started playing a classic Halo 3 theme, my music just ended. Okay, here we go. Alright. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Unless, we got people in chat, so welcome to chat. We've got this room almost done, I would say. Very close. Let's see, we've got, some stuff like this is just very raw, still, and this wall, for example, but we are getting there. Where is this start and end? Because it might be a block. Hey, buddy. Maybe a block that we can actually stretch up. I'm not sure. I am wondering, you know, it might be interesting. We could actually conserve pieces because this block and this block could theoretically actually start around. Oh, my kids are coming in the room. Could start around the same height. And theoretically go all the way up into the ceiling and just clip through this wall, this like column piece. I wouldn't normally do that because of scratches and things like that. You know, you don't want your corners to sort of be scratched. If I had this, for example, like for example, like this, you'd see where like there's no scratch there, but there's over there or whatever. And if you stretch it all the way through, you might end up with your scratches sort of like weirdly stretching horizontally, like these sort of horizontal lines forming and stuff like that. So some wonkiness happens if you do that. It can get pretty messy. But in this case, because we want the walls to be, you know, shiny and clean and freshly built, we can probably get away with that pretty easily. Let's actually change this to, I think this is still set to paint. And this would be a newer wall added to it, right? So we will need to switch this to the carapace that matches the rest. But like I was saying, we might do painted concrete for the wall behind it as like the only area that looks like painted concrete, and put some scratches on it and make it look like, you know, like painted concrete. But anyway, the point is that if we do it this way, okay, off and 0, then we end up with a very cool... We could end up with a single piece that does the entire wall, which will reduce cost on the budget in the long run, which can definitely become, you know, come in handy. Let's go ahead and click on that, and I think there's a wall piece in here somewhere. Oh, I didn't take off the dirt layer on that and scratches. Where's my little rectangle? That looks like a triangle. That looks like the rectangle. Yes, that was the rectangle. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we can go down to the scratch layer here. We've got grime on design grid. That's not what we want. We want, there's a concrete, you know what we could do? There's concrete damaged, right? There's a UNSC concrete pour rough or something like that. It's down here. UNSC concrete wall poured rough. And then we will put this at 1 to maximize it. Yeah, that's way too much. We'll do 0.5, and it should put it into patches that look like, you know, rough concrete. And then we can do scratch amount set to what do you think, like 0.3 maybe, to put some scratches on those walls. I don't know, it's hard to say. I do know this color spread needs to be put to 0 because it's messing up our scratches. It was like, or well, I don't know, it looks like our scratches are looking all sorts of like purple colors and stuff like that. So this concrete poured rough may not be the way to go, I'm not sure. It looks good whenever you put it up high, but whenever you're not putting it up high, I'm just going to slowly increment it. Maybe the real way to go would be to set the actual swatch, which apparently has... Some of these set to tart borderless for some reason. It's a mix. Or no, that's just a basic one. So some of these are not set to concrete, which is a little weird. But we're going to go, because this is going to be a damaged concrete, maybe concrete poured rough for the original texture, and then come down here and put in... Oh, there's a concrete cracked, isn't there? Concrete cracked. That might be what we want, actually. Let's do that. Let's try that out. This one, don't know why it was all the way down here, but we're going to go back up to the concrete rough like we did for the rest of the map's concrete to make it match. Let's see, concrete raw, then have the damage look like cracked concrete. There we go. Now we've got 2 layers of concrete here that are working together to make a really interesting shape. Let's go to 0.6. That's a little too... Wait, hold on. Did it switch over to it temporarily? Yeah, the cracks disappeared. It went back to being rough for a second there. To concrete rough for a second there. Okay, so basically the paint isn't really fully taken here. We're going to go to roughness 1. Yeah. Reset that. Not sure what's going on here. We'll go on. I think... Actually, we're going to source value. That's what I really want. And then region 2... can be white as well, because I don't think we're really using it. Okay. I'm going to prefab these so I can grab them again if I need to. So we're gonna have nice shiny new walls everywhere else, but then right around this old-fashioned doorway, we've got this cruddy, you know, messed up concrete that you then, you know, immediately get exposed to old-fashioned concrete floor, you know, that's probably been laminated. That's why it's so shiny. And there's your flavor there. And I think that's a good transition point. I might leave this one as the dark gray even, and just like end it there. In which case, well, this is probably not going to be this wall piece because that was a wall panel chosen for that. I mean, it could be fine actually with borders because everything's so centered. Because the diamonds are centered so nicely on this column due to its size. Well, no, it ends weirdly down here. Okay, if it's used, this one definitely has to be the what is it called? Oh, it's carapace. That's what we've been using. Let's go there to there, and then if I put a metal frame around that, like the corners look weird how they are, but if there's a metal frame coming down the corner, it'll look good, which might be another one of these. And if I do this, these have nice rounded corners, rounded edges, right? That only work whenever it's scaled this way pretty thin, because the curves get all stretched out whenever it's other directions. So if we put this here in this wall, did I do a correct angle? Oh, nope, one more. I put this into this wall, and I put it up top, and we do our thing with the height, and we bring it all the way down to the floor. And then we can keep, this is where we can keep our cross lines, because they're actually so far apart, they're not repeating too quickly, you know what I mean? Before, I had to clip it in to get rid of them because they were just repeating too fast. I also realized that I didn't adjust scratches or grime layers on these, so they look pretty rough. And over here, it would be fine, because it looks like it's been painted. I'll leave that one like that. Looks like paint got on it whenever they were doing it, like some noob, you know, some ensign red shirt, some you know, very green soldier was responsible for painting that, like we had for those. Yeah, we're gonna bring that down. Wait, why is it not? Okay, it might be one of those ones where it's either all or nothing, which is a bug. Okay, it looks like the grime was all or nothing. We could probably bring back some scratches, but not much. Okay, so anyway, these panels on the wall will look kind of cool. It's like some kind of pull handle that will activate something, probably, would be the idea of what it's kind of pulling off there. And then down here, we need to stretch it in a way. Oh, right. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, boy. It's not undoing anything. I accidentally brought this one up with the other one because I forgot that it was still selected. Okay. Well, that works. And actually, I just brought it down farther, and it's now got this little lip here, and I kind of like that. It feels like it's a good design. I think I could even bring it down a little bit farther to gain that black line at the top, which it didn't have before. That actually will look even better. And then we'll have that lip right there, and I think that looks great, because it feels like a recess that actually adds a little bit of geometry to it without any additional budget. So then this needs to scale a little bit lower down. Oh, you know what? We want to go down to the hex. Actually, it doesn't want to go down. It wants to actually come back up. Because, not the hex, but this piece. That piece is separate. So we want to go down. You see how there's that dividing line right there? That's where we want to go to. Either bring it here or bring it up more. But I think there, because the triangle is so nicely, you know, meets like that. You know what I mean? So I think we're good there. And then that is a good setup. I would like a black line here, and I think there is one. If we adjust this way, yeah, there's a black line. So we can put a little divider between the white part and the black line, which will add just a tiny bit of additional geometry right there. That might make it a little hard to move through there if we needed to, but it's not bad. It's not in a bad spot. Okay, so we want to turn that off so we can get our nudging speed down. Everything is going in the wrong direction. There we go. Now we have it lined up there properly, and I really like that. I like I definitely like these like cross lines. They're even kind of matching up well to places on the triangle, I almost feel like I need to scale it down farther to make them actually match up correctly. Or move it down. I'm not sure. If I do move it down, then I'd have to put like a block up here, which actually might look good. I mean, I did something like that over here where I was just like, I'm throwing in an extra block here that just like looked good, so I just did it. And that's the old concrete side. But over here, I could put a block up there that looks like a meeting point, you know what I mean? Between a joint, between this area and that area. Kind of like how these need to be shorter because they... Well, actually, I did join the walls straight into the ceiling without a black border in a lot of places. I don't know, I could put a black border up there by scaling these down just enough to make the black border appear. But anyway, let's see. If I bring this up, right, and then scale it down again, will it get to a point where we're actually having a, to where we're actually getting to a, let's see. I think that's the seam. Yeah, okay. Will that line them up? No, I think it made it worse. So yes, bringing them down and then scaling it back down is the way to go to get these to line up properly. So once I can get it to line up properly, yeah, you see the gap here is wider than the gap up there, which means that it needs to be scaled down because it's not 100% scaling exactly perfectly. That should work, actually. Just about. It almost works everywhere perfectly. So I think, actually from below, for the illusion, it actually is working there pretty well, and right there pretty well, and right there. This might be the way to go, like the exact height I need to use. But obviously these wheels, which look weird, actually they don't look that weird with the way they're clipping through right now. I mean, if you were to think they were wheels, and they look weird for wheels, but for like bolts or something like that, not so much. So I could theoretically put something up there that's actually thin enough that these are still visible, and they'd be a really cool little additional detail up there. Let's see what we can do with, for example, a very simple black frame piece that I used for the glass frame. Let's see. And then we just copy that. Oop, I'm set to the speed, the low speed. We'll reset rotation and then go off 45, because that one was probably still already at 45, but this is definitely at a 45-degree angle, so that'll reset us and let us figure it out. So this would be a simple little foot there. Something a little more interesting might be better, like a something that has more geometry to it. This is just a rectangle, just a square, but I just want to see what happens if we allow this to be the detail work, and we leave the you know, we just do a simple square so that only the wheels there are the detail, which might be a good thing. And so I want to try it out. Got that. Let's see. Because sometimes you want to, you know, just kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid. Whoop, that's not the direction I wanted to go. I wanted to go. It's just that it's doing its thing where it's, and then now it's working properly. That was weird. It was doing that thing where it rotated the movement. Instead of left and right going left and right, it was going forward and back, and then, you know, really messing things up for me. But then whenever I adjusted it, it worked great. So yeah, that looks pretty cool, actually. I like it being a simple black line, and then those pieces being there. And if we had scaled down the column, it would have adjusted where the triangles are, so the diamonds are. I mean, so I had to do it this way. And now we just copy it to this side. So we copy it this way. Oof. It did not line up. Come on, man. I want you to line up. Really? Okay, well, we'll just use snapping points to get the right location. Maybe this corner will work. That should be the right location, but it doesn't appear to be. Okay, we need to turn it back around because sometimes the magnets are in weird spots where they don't actually line up. And then once we get into the right spot, we can flip it around. There we go. Now it's the same. So apparently the magnets on that side are higher up than on this side. It looks like the ones on that side are on the wheels, and the ones on this side are on the actual frame. Don't know why. Probably just a weird mistake that was made by a developer at some point. A very minor little mistake that caused the thing to work a little weird. There we go. Does forging ruin forge maps for you? Like you're playing a map and recognize a piece is used. Sometimes, but sometimes it actually. Oh wow, those line up nicely with the frame. Anyway, I didn't even try that. I wasn't even looking at that, and it just ended up working out nice. It sometimes can ruin forge maps for me, but a lot of the times it ends up working out just fine. Like, and what I mean by that is like, a lot of times it's actually almost enhanced it because I'm feeling like I'm getting it. You know what I mean? Like I'm in on the design. But yeah, and then like it'll give me ideas for what to do in Forge as well. So it has its pros and cons because yes, I do sometimes go, oh, that's just one of these things, you know, stretched or warped or whatever. You know what I mean? But then, like, as soon as but then once I realize that, and it's done really well, then I'm like, oh, I could do that. So it has, yeah, like I said, it has a trade-off, it has pros and cons for how it affects me, I guess. But yeah. I think that this way where it's clipping into the wall doesn't look especially good. I don't know about you guys. So this side ended up looking great, and then I copied to this side, and it's just not good. So either... like, you know, I made these transitions over here. If I did something similar over here, I'm not going to make it, like, really good yet. Just to try it. Where I kind of, you know, cut the corner with this. Then, I don't know about you guys, what do you think? By the way, welcome to chat, since you're a first-time chatter. If I did something like this and cut it short, then it would be like a half one, and I think that would work out just fine. That would look great, I think, actually. And so what I would probably do is bring it down so the black line lines up down at the base, and then stretch it up farther to line up with the ceiling. Like that. Let's see. And then it'll line up just like this, I think. So I'm taking off the scratch marks on those either, but you know. Like I said before, with that scratch mark, this will feel like it's like someone painted the white a little bit badly, you know? Something to that effect. I think that this is pretty good, but I think I need to tilt it like 5 degrees more. There we go. That'll give me a better rim on this side. Also, one thing is, by training myself to be able to look at something, like place it in there and then sort of like walk away and then look at it from farther away, and then after looking at it from farther away, it feels like it feels different. Like whenever I placed that piece just now, I was up close and I kind of felt like it was weird. So I came up farther away and I looked at it from farther away, and it looks different, and then from a distance, and then I can come back closer again and see it with fresh eyes. And with that, sort of training myself to do that allows me to also look at like maps online with fresh eyes. And of course I'm distracted because there's people shooting at me, so it's a little bit more difficult to just critique the shape of a room online. So this is a good location for the way this is angled, but this one is obviously clipping into it, and I think this is the more important block out piece because I think this wall lines up with that one. Yeah, because that lines up pretty nicely to there, and I think that this one it does, but then this one's more recessed. Or maybe not. No, yeah, it definitely is. That's flat there, and that's there. So this was all made by Ripshade, who was a, apparently, I didn't know this until more recently, even though I'd been working with him for like a month, is that he was apparently really popular on, what was the other streaming service? There was another streaming service that eventually folded, but he had like a lot of followers, like thousands of followers over there. And he made this one, and it was you know, in Halo 5 originally, and then he translated it over here. Do you switch to other quality settings to see how all players see your map? That would be a good idea. I personally don't have I'm in spec computer already, so I'm definitely seeing what the lowest quality people are seeing, and then I just assume it'll look better for higher quality people. But I could go over, like, I've got an Xbox Series S as my other device, so. I'm in spec PC graphics card, which is actually not that bad as far as settings go, like video settings in here. Yes, I'm at frame rate 30 frames per second, so that's the main thing. I'm min and max set to 30, so that's the main thing that's low. But everything else can be set to like high and ultra and medium and high and all that kind of stuff. There's some that I have to leave at medium, but to keep me from like lagging in certain areas of certain maps. But for the most part, I do have a lot of things on ultra and high whenever there is no ultra. Well, there's an ultra there, but this one doesn't have an ultra. So some of these don't even go any higher, some of them do. So yeah. So I'm kind of mid-ground, I guess, with my graphics, middle of the line here, and then I've got a Series S that I think can go to 60 frames per second, I think, but it's all and on ultra for most things, but I could be wrong. I don't remember the actual settings over there. So yeah. So I'll need to you know, even out this wall. We were actually doing this before last time. I still haven't done any art on it. I just like set it up to where you can, you know, trick jump right there, which is cool. I'm getting better at the trick jump right there too, and I might do something like that. But yeah, geometry quality is probably pretty different. Yeah, I mean, like the number of polygons and stuff like that can shift. Mostly, I think it's that they decrease the range of LOD shift. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure this is max polygon count for that whenever I'm this close, because I'm as close as it gets for the LOD. I think they shift up and down when the LOD kicks in to put a lower resolution model there, which it's probably kicked in at this point. But it's hard to tell because it's so far away. But then I think that mostly what they do is they use the toggling of the LOD distance so that they can actually, you know, that'll reduce the number of polygons you're having to render, for example, very quickly and easily, without much fuss. Oh yeah, I forgot. Those things got weirdly rotated over there, didn't they? Even though they start part of a you know, a prefab, so they should have come out the same as over here for these cooling fins. But yeah. So yeah, you're definitely right that it's probably going to alter it, but I think it might be based on an LOD layer, so it might be pretty comparable whenever you're up close to it, at least. It'll just look different for people that are like looking at the map and like looking across the map from farther away, and stuff like that. Since you're new to chat, you probably haven't seen the map. I can do a little bit of a tour of what's built and what's half built. Like this door right here this is like a crate that's going to become a little door. That's one of those, like you said, the tricks that you become, you know, you can't unsee maybe, but I think you can. You can pretty much you'll eventually unsee this because it's built into a wall. It looks like an airlock security hatch kind of thing, but it's actually a crate, which is pretty cool. But like you'll have like a room like this. It's mostly finished. It's not fully finished. One of the coolest things we're doing on this map visually is things like this, where it's like a hologram door that you can go through, a little scanner here that like lights you up a different color. You can see the gun like lights up blue, and this one says like exit on it and things like that. Security, clearance, caution, you know, that kind of thing. Got a bunch of cool little things there like that. Another thing that's really cool about this map that ended up being play space is you can do a grapple shot to get up here. And once you're up here, you know, you've got this caution hazard sign, right? As soon as you go through it, you are in absolutely no atmosphere, bad area to be. Entrance, you can get back into here, but it's not quite good until you hop back down into the area that's more into the areas that are more you know, safe. So you've got these rough to safe areas like this. There you go, and you can also come around through here, and you're still in the kill zone, but it comes back. So like there's a playable area that allows you to like almost fast travel on this map. That's kind of akin to, there's a map in Halo Reach that did that. That's based on the Long Night of Solace mission, where you're inside that Covenant Corvette, and that came out really cool. That was an addition I made to his map. But everything else is like the geometry here in Ripshade's map here is like really cool. I love it. It the way that it's playing is it's very different. It's very unique. It feels very Halo 2, you know? Like, whoops, I hit an invisible object. There's some AI bot pieces here that you collide with unless you hold down the back button to get into the proper game mode. But yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, with the fast travel up there, I think is probably what you're talking about. Or is it the, or maybe the energy barriers, but both of those I think are really cool. We also figured out how to do colored glass, but you're limited on what color you're going to have. Fortunately, one of them is yellow, and that's what we were going for, was golden, like, space glass. You know what I mean? Like spaceship glass. Over here hasn't been arted. That's his basic blockout area. Over here has been, and this is more like what we're going for. And this area may not be a kill zone later, because we're thinking about putting like a weapon spawn or maybe some respawn points on it. But it's a little like, you know, drop pad, you know, helipad kind of thing. Apparently I didn't yellow that window, but I yellowed the others. I probably crashed while I was in the middle of doing this. That happened a lot in this area for some reason. It would just do the save bug, or like it wouldn't save off what I was doing. It was very frustrating. But yeah, over here, by the way, so the idea is this is an old UNSC base that found a Forerunner slipspace drive. This is based on the actual slipspace drives from Halo Warfleet, I think it's called. I think it was from Halo Warfleet. Don't know what these columns are doing stretching all the way down in here, but I'll fix them. This whole thing right here is actually, I prefabbed it and saved it off so I could drop one in right here. Where there's so much more to it because we have more to do in the future. We're just trying to get the 4v4 version of the map done, but the map is planned to have a script in it. Let's see, there we go. A script in it that's going to scale it so that it becomes big team battle if you have more players. So it's gonna work if you do 4v4, like just 8 players, then it's gonna be limited to just inside this building the way it is right now. These soft kill zones are gonna be here, you know, doing all that like stuff that we're talking about right now with that cool like almost fast travel system, or area. But then as soon as you put in like, you get to like 16 players, for example, or you go above 8. As soon as you go above 8, it's, okay, the script is gonna fill out the number of players with bots automatically, so that whenever you're in a custom game browser, you know, it's gonna fill out the number of bots. So that you have up to 8 players to begin with for 4v4. The moment you have 9 actual players, it's gonna fill it out to 16 players, big team, like old, classic big team battle style, 16 players with bots. As soon as you reach exactly, you know, 17, or actually I think we were planning on scaling it up all the way to 24 players, keeping the bots in, and then as soon as we hit 20 players in, like actual players in the game, we're going to essentially remove all the bots so that 4 more players could join in, because bots take up space that's in the custom game browser where new players can't replace them. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to scale it with the number of players that way, and also whenever you hit those thresholds, we're going to do things like open this door right here. This door will open up, you'll be able to come out here, and you'll be able to move around the map, and it'll become a big team battle map with this major area in the middle that's like really complex geometry, and this area out here that's more simplified for, you know, vehicle driving, vehicle movement, and with like, you know, warthogs and stuff, and you'll have like a man cannon that'll launch you up onto this and stuff like that. There's going to be a door here that actually goes into an underground area under the map. That's going to be like a large like parking garage style thing or storage facility. And that's actually why this thing has way more detail. I was about to explain that earlier, and then I was going to spawn it in to show you the detail, and then I realized, well, maybe I should explain why it has more detail. Yeah, so basically, yeah, this thing has more detail coming down here because we're going to have more base down here that's going to show it, and these rocks are going to be deleted later. For now, they're set up to where you just see that, and there's all these like wires, and you know, Oni is doing some kind of wired into the this Forerunner object and stuff like that. And the sort of lore behind the map is that this area, this Forerunner structure here, or this Forerunner slipspace drive, is one of the things they use to reverse engineer to build the Infinity, to get to reverse engineer the Forerunner way of doing slipspace. And so this was an old base that then fell to a flood infestation because there was flood frozen on this slipspace drive from the, you know, Forerunner and Flood War that they accidentally uncovered inside the asteroid that sort of formed around the drive. So this area is going to be the old area of the base with dead flood, you know, tentacles everywhere, or at least quote-unquote dead. We're, you know, going to try and make it look scary, like maybe you're not quite sure, and maybe the UNSC and Oni should not have returned to this base and should have just blown it up, but they're giving it another shot, giving it another go. So the flood over here seemed dormant, but it's the old damaged area. And this area is going to be the new. Scientists are now rebuilding the base to do further research on the Forerunner build, you know, slipspace drive, because for all we know, the Infinity is gone, according to the story right now. We don't even really know that yet because they haven't told us. But yeah, basically, big ol' Oni base there, looming overhead with their windows and their people watching you from above as you do your Spartan training in case the flood come back and you need Spartans to immediately respond to a flood outbreak. So we've got our building there, Oni logo, looming overhead. It's got sort of like this microscope style. I kind of literally based the building's shape off of a scientific microscope. So this is almost like a giant lens that's like looking down on the Forerunner artifact and the actual science area with the windows up there. I did a very similar thing with UNSC Command over here, where they've got a map of the galaxy. They've got some elites up there even, because this is a very important area of, you know, the galaxy that they have to keep safe. So they've got that going on. I didn't even show this room. It's just a little storage room, but whenever you've got it activated, it's going to be a grav lift that will launch you up to here, have you land on this keep area clear caution area, and you'll be able to come in here, and you know that area will be off limit. Will basically be, so it's sort of like the last mission of ODST. Yeah, kinda, exactly. Where like there's a whole bunch of stuff all happening at once. There's an Oni building that's like doing research and stuff like that on Forerunner structure that you are not ready for, or that you're not aware of. You know, most people are not aware it's even happening right under their feet. But this is like this little galaxy, this little place here, and basically the map layout itself was just Ripshade blocked it out. It was rough block, and he wanted someone to art it, so I took over for arting it for him. And that's what I've been doing ever since. But the map layout, the way I envisioned it as soon as I saw it, was I was like, okay, it's got to be, he wanted to be a moon base. Originally, he just like was calling it moon base. But it's basically, you know, it was anything I wanted it to art to be. He was like, yeah, no, just do what you think, do your thing. I just want it to be sort of in space. And I was like, yeah, cool, I can do that. Yeah. So it's on an asteroid instead of the moon. But basically, I was like, yeah, UNSC base here, that's going to be basically a barracks right there. And that is as well. As well as this little like hallway here. But anyway, they built UNSC on both sides so that they could surround the research area where the flood were originally. And then the flood broke out and they took over the whole base. They had to evacuate the atmosphere and basically freeze the base. They did like an argon, you know, release into the base to try and kill the flood. Froze them, and it looks like they're dormant and dead. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know what the lore is on freezing flood. That is, I don't think that I'm pretty sure no official lore has been dropped on whether or not flood die whenever they're frozen, but they die whenever they're burned to death, so maybe they do. So I just have them as like dormant, like they are dead. And we're gonna have, this is like the vision of what this area's gonna look like. It's very destroyed with like flood kind of pouring out of the walls, flood tentacles pouring out of the walls. Security room over here is red because the emergency lights are still on. Emergency lights are still over here because it hasn't been rebuilt. So we end up with a red base and a nice shiny blue base. Separation in our map design, and it works really good. So yeah, that's all what we're doing so far. And I'm going to continue making videos and stuff like that on how to do this. These holes are going to be here as a way of getting down into here and a bunch of other routes. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. We got a bunch of like lore backing it up and stuff like that, and I keep on stream. I stream like every single day, so I don't know if you want to follow, you can help support me, and then we can go ahead and if you want to come back and check in on me every now and then, you can. That'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate it. But yeah, we're doing just doing all this over time, and eventually it's going to get all done. I've got a lot of this kind of repeating sort of style of doorway, for example, going here. But yeah. I am about to have to get off though, actually, for the day, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, let's see, because we got to get going. We got a full day planned for my kids to go hang out with grandma and stuff like that. But yeah, oh yeah, and you can kind of see the elevator shaft going all the way down there, which is pretty cool. It kind of works out pretty nicely. But yeah, so I actually do. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm gonna have to get going now. But it was really cool to be able to show it off to somebody who hadn't seen it yet, and like really, get to talk about it again. Because so far, because for a while we've just been doing art, and we haven't actually talked about our future plans for a while. I know I'm moving around way too crazy. There's also going to be like a landing strip over here with like saber fighters and stuff like that for like cover, which are large objects that don't take a lot of your resources, but add a bunch of geometry, like actual like shape to it, because you can jump on them and go under them and stuff like that. So it's going to be really like the outside area, the big team battle area, is going to be all about high impact, low budget additions to the map, because we're, as you can see already, well, you can't see because my face is in the way. Down here in the corner, it's at 68%. Well, you can just see the percentage actually, I think, on screen there. We're at 68% already, and I'm not even done with the inside yet. So we might only have like 25% to do the scripting, which would take like at least 5% of that. So like 20% to do the entire big team battle area. So it's going to be very simple in the big team battle areas, I think. But we're going to try our best to do it. It'll be that's where the parking garage style of down here and like storage area down here is going to come in handy, because it'll be very like concrete blocks, simple columns, that sort of thing, because you know it can be. It'll visually it would make sense for it to be very simple. So yeah, that's going to be really simple and easy to throw together. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. And then it'll be about textures, like throwing on cracked concrete so it doesn't look like just basic concrete, so we don't have to add embellishments or whatever, using things that are better concrete block columns and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I gotta get going. Like I was saying. I can't say it another time. I keep on saying it. But yeah. No, yeah, I would appreciate it if you wanted to follow, but you know, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not charging anything. But yeah, anyway. If you're on YouTube, because I do upload these to YouTube, so later if someone's on YouTube watching this, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe over there, but yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.